All right, good afternoon and welcome to Muskogee Media's YouTube channel. It is time for the Muskogee Creek Nation's weekly executive branch press briefing. I'm Angel Ellis with Muskogee Media, and with me via the internet is Muskogee Creek Nation's Press Secretary, Jason Salzman, and we just want to welcome everybody to the channel, give everybody a chance to catch up with the stream. And we're going to have a live chat going, and we'll answer questions, take questions from our audience, and hopefully get some new information that's coming out from the executive branch this week. Welcome aboard, Jason. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Angel, thanks for having me. Appreciate you so much, and ready to get started and let everybody know, give everybody some updates, open it up for questions for anyone that joins us in the live stream, and open it up for any questions from you all at Muskogee Media. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. I have made a post in Facebook too and invited folks who might not be subscribers of our channel to go ahead and subscribe to Muskogee Media's YouTube channel. If you are a subscriber, you will find that it's a really neat little interface, and you can ask questions there in the chat right next to the video as you're watching along. But for anybody who isn't a subscriber, we've linked into Facebook with our coverage, and we're taking questions as comments on our Facebook post as well. I'm going to be kind of watching those and seeing if anybody kind of chimes in with some questions. How's the week been? I know it's been kind of busy for you. Can you just kind of fill us in on what you're working on there, Jason?
Yeah, thanks, Angel. It's been a little bit of a different week for me. I've been in office. At a minimum working 8 hours, and most days working more than 8 hours, but every single day since this whole pandemic started, and actually since I've been here in my position with the Office of Principal Chief. So yesterday actually was the very first day that I wasn't here. I had a day off. I had some things to take care of, some family matters and things like that. But glad to be back to work and get back in it today. And we've had an important week here, starting June 1st. The principal chief and the second chief, Del Beaver, those guys are just fired up to have employees back at work. I hope everybody out there is excited to be back at work. And we've had very little, things go. You worry about, oh, what can go wrong? Bringing everybody back to work in a different time, in a different mind frame, everything like that. So very little has happened that's has been negative as far as the getting people back in. And then also a great article today in the Tulsa World about the bounce back of River Spirit Casino and our casino operations, but River Spirit just specifically with the second time in 2 years. It's just unprecedented to be able to have an interruption in business for that long, and to see the tribe not only stick it out and back up and running, but in both of those instances, the employees of those places not missing a paycheck whatsoever or their benefits at a time when health is such a concern is a very proud moment for this administration, for the Creek Nation, the previous administration that had to deal with the flood. A very proud moment for the Muskogee Creek Nation. It should be, just because of those things kind of like that. You don't really think about it. You think about, oh, River Spirit's closed, but those people getting a check, and really people here at the complex that are back at work this week, never missing a paycheck, never missing any benefits. So very proud of that. And really, we're just kind of getting started with the week, getting some things thrown together. Right now, as we speak, I know a lot of people are going to be happy to hear this. Right now, as we speak, 3:00 here, Oklahoma time, the CARES Act committee is meeting with the leadership, and I'm going to run in there and be a part of that meeting as soon as we get done here. Not to rush you or anything, Angel, but
Okay.
we're going to go over there. They're talking with the chief and laying things out, finalizing plans for that CARES Act distribution that will then go before the National Council. And so, we're excited to get that out. We know a lot of people out there are excited to figure out what's going to be done. We know that there's a lot of need. And we're very excited to try and meet that need as best we can with different ways, and getting really creative with this CARES Act funding as far as meeting the guidelines, the restrictions, and the standards that came with this funding, and meeting the specific the specific needs of our citizens out there. And we've had a lot of citizens reach out. We've had a lot of citizens talk to their council members. We love to see government in action like that. And so that's a big reason that the council was a part of the committee. So we're excited about that. But yeah, I'm open up, ready for any questions you got, Angel, and let's get rocking.
Well, I did want to share just a little update. Yesterday I had the pleasure of getting to interview CEO of River Spirit Casino, Pat Cross, and he had some very encouraging reports to give. We're working on a story and getting that out. That very special promotion that they've offered has been incredibly well received. And he says that the bookings are filling up. And so that's really wonderful that our healthcare professionals are so confident in these processes that have been implemented that they are kind of booking their, special promotion stays where they can get a little bit of TLC for themselves. As far as CARES Act funding, it sounds like there's been some recent developments since I last spoke with Secretary of the Nation of Commerce, Acting Secretary of the Nation of Commerce, Tara Branson. And can you kind of fill us in? It sounds like they're kind of charging ahead and trying to get some legislation prepared. Would that possibly be for this month?
Yes, Angel, I couldn't speculate on a timetable, but I know, as Tara was mentioning with you, and I want to thank you guys for reaching out and doing such a long form piece with Tara there. I know our video was a little bit succinct, but I think it cut to the matter. But still, you still want to spend a great deal of time on something so complex. And I think Tara reflected that. I think you asked the right questions. I think you guys covered the topic. As far as having something to the council, I believe we are in the final stages of their planning and everything like that, just because I know that they were so not in a hurry. That's a bad way to put it, because I think when you get in a hurry, you make mistakes and things. But they wanted to be as quick as possible because they realized that the need is out there. So there was lots of work. Every day, that's what this committee was tasked with, and that was their priority and their only objective throughout the last, whatever couple weeks it's been since we've received. So, I believe we're in the final stages of that, and I'm eager to learn what the latest from the committee is to leadership as well.
And as Tara said, there is an expiration date, so there is kind of a need to expedite and expediently process this kind of situation.
Absolutely.
I'm going to check it with our forums here real quick, and it said, okay, nothing questions wise posted there. And did you have any more updates? I think you mentioned that there might be some information coming out about our IT incident.
Yeah, there is. That will be. We just received word, actually, that we will have a technological analysis report. So that's kind of the final report that we've been looking for, that we've been waiting for, and hoping that the investigation clears up and everything like that. But we are expecting that on June 10th, is what we've been told from the experts, the forensic experts working on the investigation. A really good bit of news is they're finalizing that report, basically just putting the report together for the tribe to see. And the indications are, again, what we've said all along, was that there was never any evidence given throughout or during or now in their initial findings of this finalized report that any personal information was compromised, stolen, anything like that. So we're really excited about that. Again, fired up to get that final report and the investigation to be over, so we can really, communicate with citizens and give them sort of that finalized communication on not only the report, but the investigation, things like that. And it's, like I said, anytime you go through an investigation, it's hard because you do want to be able to provide as much information as you can. You don't want to be painted as withholding anything or privatizing anything, because that's certainly not what we're about. This administration wants everything to be open. I think that that's apparent in the weekly live sessions just like this, where any citizen can jump on and ask me anything. And we've been covering this not financial, but we've been covering this data security incident now for a few weeks, right, Angel? I think it's been 3 or 4 weeks that we've done this. So very open as far as that, and just wanting to encourage everyone, kind of read between the lines. When we put out information, we're seeing this too. You have a tendency sometimes to read a headline and then stop there and then go post, or say, oh, everybody, I can't believe this is how, and I think that whenever, like we had a recent issue where we put out a release about the employees coming back. Well, in that release, it said that we're not opening back up to the public yet, because we still are under state of emergency. And I think a lot of people misinterpreted employees coming back as it's open to the public. And so I just want to encourage everybody out there, when we put out a release, when we put out a video, don't be so quick to judge based on maybe something that you heard in there. Focus on the totality of it. Read every single line of every release. We've got so many people that are working hard to disseminate information, that are working hard to put those releases together. They're trying to find every avenue of information that they can, so that the release isn't wanting in any way, that it's got the full amount of information that the citizens absolutely need to hear. So just give those releases, those videos, the proper attention that they need to get the message across. And I think that we see that a little bit. Maybe one or two things that are important are lost in the message, and I think that's important to remind everybody out there when we do release something or whatever. Just give it your full attention, give it full time, read every line, and listen to every word.
Yeah, I do understand what you mean about those reports, because I think that people heard, employees returning. And even on my own Facebook, I had friends asking me, does that mean I can come in on June 1 and, apply for this? And I was kind of quick to remind them that there's a few phases that I believe that we're working under, and that, just because the employees are coming in, we're going to be coming in June 1, we're going to be learning these new protocols that we're going to be using in order to keep each other safe. And then the protocols that we're going to be required to learn in order to keep the public safe too. So I had to kind of, filled a few of those questions myself. I definitely understand what you're coming from there. And just so a lot of the people will understand, sometimes I'm aware of, maybe a lead or a fact that's kind of circulating, and I have a lot of digging to do to get to the full story, a comprehensive story, before I could release that out. But understand where you're going.
You understand. Yeah. Well, you all would understand. You work so hard on stories, and you put them out, and then somebody maybe just looks at the picture that comes with the story, and then social media gets going, and you know how it is. But I understand the power of social media. We use it. We try to use it effectively to communicate with our citizens. It's just that when we put things out there, there's a reason for every line in those releases. There's a reason for every word that we put out in our video informationals and everything like that. So just wanted to remind everyone of that.
When I was going to skip back to the IT incident briefly, I know that there's going to be this comprehensive report telling us exactly, what, and I'm not sure if the terminology would be correct to say forensic or not, but we've had these analysts that is working with the nation to really look and see what all was, the scope of this. Has, at the time that it occurred, the nation is acclimating to this global pandemic. Has there been any indication that it's been, difficult for services and communications or anything like that? Is there any aspects, and I'm glad to hear that, like, our tribal citizens' data and information seems to be safe so far, and that seems to be what the nation is hearing. Is there any kind of lingering kind of issues that, kind of made it can't be convenient to have a whole system kind of, in this position? Can you speak to that at all?
Not specifically, but I mean, I think that there, like you said, there's no denying that it did cause an interruption in our services, some that are very important to us, and why swift, decisive action was absolutely necessary. We don't want food distribution down for weeks at a time during a global pandemic, and I think everybody could realize that. So I think that Angel, I think people know that there were some systems down for a few days, systems that people access, services and things like that, and probably, and we certainly apologize for that and for that interruption. But I think we'll be able to speak more to that when we have a full analysis and see what the report tells us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to move right along. I think we're getting more encouraging comments than more questions today.
Hey, I'll take that all day long. No.
One of the comments is that we should remember to wash our hands, just like we were taught at Head Start, and just like Mrs. Henson taught at Eufaula Head Start. So yeah, definitely good advice.
Jacob. Thank you, Jacob. That's good advice, man. And I'm sure you had a great experience there at Head Start. And Mrs. Henson, there's probably a lot of people his age that have fond memories of Head Start and Mrs. Henson. Sounds like she taught you guys right.
I wanted to kind of more of a, I guess, a administrative or a clerical question. This is the month normally we would be celebrating festival and planning all that. Our calendars are built in with a day off. Can you tell us if the tribe's going to be open on the 29th or not? Do we know if that's the case?
Well,
a lot of those questions.
We could certainly probably win some political favor with keeping the festival days off in place. I'll have to talk to the boss about that, and and some of the people that make those decisions. We'll see. Again, we hate that the festival's been postponed. I don't want to say canceled, but we hate that it's been pushed back and postponed. And we're going to certainly do everything in our power to make sure that experience is not lost this year, whether it be in a day off or whether it be in a weekend of fun and softball and rodeoing and stuff like that, and maybe some local bands and things like that people can still come out and enjoy and get fired up about. And we're looking at every avenue when it comes to the festival.
I take those kind of questions as a sign that there is some normalcy still in the world. We're still wondering if we're getting that day off.
Oh yeah, no, that's such a normal question. That makes me feel really comfortable.
I planned those right in the middle after the hard ones, just for you.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
I have a quick question too, and this might be more of a broad one. I'm seeing the announcement come out from Behavioral Health Services that they're doing a web series, and it's kind of as a digital format that they hope to get just as close as the real in-person conference that we had expected. Can we kind of gauge that some of these, and they seem to be having some success with the morning coffee break, which we restreamed earlier was it today or yesterday? Yeah, today. It's been a whirlwind for me coming back. But is that kind of indicative that maybe some of these technologies that we accessed in order to get the job done during COVID are going to be sticking around as we kind of navigate this next phase of, still practicing safe distancing and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. And I think that's the new reality for a lot of things, the way we do things at the tribe. I think that we'll see more. I think we'll see less travel. I think we'll see less gathering people in a small room, small area, everything like that. When we know that we have the abilities to Zoom meetings and have digital meetings and everything like that. And I think that affords even more opportunities, like you said, to have things like the coffee breaks, the digital workshops. It actually is a positive because it allows us to do more. It's more access. And so I think that is the win in that change in our lives. So many people have talked about, our lives are forever changed, or the new normal is what you hear. But I think you can take positives from it as well. It doesn't all have to be sky is falling. A lot of it can be the new normal actually includes things that we probably should have been doing long ago in preparation for something like this. So no, I love that point that you bring up, Angel, because it allows me to say we will see things differently going forward, and I think that's a good thing.
Definitely, I'm kind of even gathering up some information that I think I'm going to be going home and sharing about, like, that I learned in these like tutorials that are going out, and kind of sit my teenagers down and be like, okay, here's what you do with boredom, and here's what you do with stress and things like that. So it's an opportunity, I think, to connect in a way that I haven't necessarily before.
Yeah.
Jason, is there anything else that you can think of that is that's pertinent and upcoming that you'd like to share with us today? Otherwise, I think
Yeah.
this is a brief today.
Yeah, it's a brief. I gotta jump off and join the committee in there and see where we're going as far as CARES Act. Real quick again, they have identified 4 key areas for disbursement. That's individual and family support. We know a lot of people have a need right now, and we're gonna attempt the best we can to fill every gap in the needs that they have, and specifically give some help to individuals and families. Also, healthcare services and access. That's also a direct service to our citizens. We want healthy citizens. We want them to have the best care, to have the best access. Also, government operations, and simply, when we come to the fiscal year, this next fiscal year, we don't want there to be any gaps and any huge cuts where people's lives are changed, or where programs are forever changed, or programs are taken out, anything like that. Government operations is going to be a key there as well, and as well as our business and enterprise relief. Obviously, the casinos and everything taking a huge hit, but people that know how Muskogee Creek Nation operates, they are a huge part of how we're able to provide services and how we're set up as a tribal government and everything like that. So, wanted to remind everybody of that. Also, just kind of to wrap everything up, want to remind everyone we're doing this every week. Want to thank you all for joining us and coming in, chiming in with questions, things of that nature. We love to see it and welcome it. And this is your tribal government. These are the chief and the second chief that you elected to respond to questions that you may have. And this is a great forum to do it. I want to thank Muskogee Media as always, because this is a wonderful forum to be able to do this, especially live. I'm not getting any of these questions, or we're putting it out there and letting people ask away. So I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate the transparency of it all as a citizen, just myself. So thanks, Angel.
All right, you have a good day, Jason, and we'll let you off the hook, and we'll look for updates from you soon. Thanks.
Thank you guys so much.